Gangsters come make a shot. You know, you got to pay a little bit of protection. That's right. That's all part of it. The boy don't believe me about this stuff. Just gotta go.
I'd like to call on Councilman Mercer for the invocation.
Would you join me for a moment, please? Most gracious Heavenly Father, we gather here at the end of the lovely day. We thank you for the many blessings that you bestowed upon our town and its many citizens. We ask you to bless those citizens that are here tonight to express their concerns and give us the wisdom to understand their concerns and to act on them in the best possible way. We ask all this in Christ's name. Amen.
Okay, thank all of y'all for coming. Looks like a good crowd tonight, and I'm gonna call on to get started. Turn over to Manager Robertson for content.
Right. Well, thank you, members of the council. We really appreciate the public being here tonight. The purpose of this meeting is to hear public comments concerning the proposed CDOT. Can't hear you. I'll slide it up. How about that? Did everybody hear that? How about I take it off? I remember 4 times. How's that? Everybody hear that? Okay. The purpose of this meeting is to hear public comments concerning the proposed NCDOT improvements to 15th Street. NCDOT has already held 1 meeting and collected comments on the improvements. And during this meeting, there will probably offer suggestions, and some of those suggestions have been reviewed and already considered by NCDOT on their plans. The city has received phone calls on the proposal, and we want to thank the Washington Daily News and the Boat Observer for their coverage. During this public comment period that we're having tonight is only to collect those comments. We're not going to get into a debate about the pros and cons, but we are going to ask the public to generally comment about it. And we do have NCDOT officials here to actually explain the program. At this time, I'd like to call on Frankie Buck and John Rodman, who can introduce the NCDOT representative and give us a cursory overview of the proposed project. In addition to that, tonight, the mayor will probably summarize the maximum amount of time allotted for each presenter will be approximately 10 minutes. And in addition to that, we did receive written comments this week. I did receive a hand-delivered letter from the Rich Company, and we'll incorporate that into the minutes as those comments of the program that they would like to see introduced. Thank you very much.
Okay, Frankie, good.
I don't have a microphone, but I can speak loud enough. I believe everybody here can hear me. Again, my name is Frankie Buck. I'm the Public Works Director for the City of Washington. And at this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Jeff Cavanis with the DOT. He's with the Planning Division from the North Carolina Department of Transportation. And also Mr. David Bass, who is from HNTD, who is the engineer design firm for the 15th Street widening project. At this time, I'll turn it over to Mr. Jeff. Yes, sir.
Speak in the microphone.
Please.
Like I said, my name is Jeff Cavanis. I work for the DOT. I'm the Division Planning Engineer. I'm based out of Greenville. Division 2 handles Pitt, Beaufort, Green, Jones, Lenore, Hamilton, Craven, Carteret, if you're not familiar with it. So just a brief overview of kind of how we got where we're at, how the project came into being. And if you don't mind, I just need to back up a few years. In 2012, the General Assembly passed a law called the STI law, which stands for Strategic Transportation Investments. And with that, radically changed how we fund projects and how they come to be constructed. What it basically did is they asked us to do two things. Number one, they asked us to start scoring projects on a number scale, and also to score those projects, all transportation projects. So not just the highway, but transit projects, rail, aviation, bike and ped, and ferry. And they wanted us to do something that everybody else in the nation is trying to do, and that's to make them kind of compare apples to apples, even though they're vastly different modes of transportation. So that's what we did, and we call that process SPOT, because we like acronyms with the department. It's called a strategic prioritization of transportation, or of transportation. So that's, if you hear somebody refer to SPOT or a SPOT project, that's what they're talking about. That's the scoring mechanism of how you score the projects in the state. So the projects come from, most counties in the state have a comprehensive transportation plan. Beaufort County had one in 2014. It's just come online. So in a comprehensive transportation plan, routes are identified for the futures that need improvement. And so a lot of the big projects where they're like the Northern Bypass, seen that project, but small projects like 15th Street and even smaller projects. So the project was identified in the CTP as needs improvement. Now, you have a organization called the Mid-East Rural Planning Organization, which another acronym is called RPO. So every place in the state is covered by an RPO or a Metropolitan Planning Organization, which is an MPO, which is around larger cities. So the RPO that covers the transportation plan in this area, they look to the CTPs to pull the projects from. So they looked into the comprehensive transportation plan, saw that 15th Street needed improvement. So they put that into the system to be scored. And it scored well. And it scored well enough to be funded. We basically rank the projects top to bottom. You take the money, and you start at the top, and you go down to the money runs out. It's pretty simple. So 15th Street was eligible to get funded. When we look at that, to be funded, we look at the specific road type that was put in to be scored. And the specific road type said 4-lane divided boulevard from 17th, from 17th bypass to Brown Street. So that's what is in the system. That's what got scored in the system. So that's what basically we're being told to build, or to look at. And so that's what we did. Scored high enough to be built. We go out, we get an engineering firm to start doing the design work. We get the design work to a point where we can start putting lines on a map, and then we have a public hearing. So because it's hard to talk about what we're going to build if you can't see it. So we get it to a point where you can start, talking about it, and that's when we have the public hearing, and that's what we've had recently. So that, in a nutshell, is kind of how we got where we're at.
Jeff, do you have any comments?
If not, man, what we'd like to do, this one of the questions is turn it over to the general public.
Okay.
May I make a comment?
Yes, sir.
I appreciate all the timing and necessary work that goes into trying to look at this street. There are two things that trouble me. One is that I understand this project is to be $16 million plus or minus.
Yes, sir.
That's a tremendous amount of money to put into a project that's about a mile. I understand the concern is a safety issue along 15th Street, and I know that there are accidents occur because my son had an accident on 15th Street. But it would appear to me that the placement of 4 additional stoplights along that 15th Street corridor would address a major part of the safety issues that are on that roadway. And then the placement of a median device of some type, it might be the reflectorized units like you've got on River Road there at Burkeel Road, to prevent turning into 2 of the driveways that are on that street. Now, stoplight roughly $50,000. A median system is about $50,000. 4 stoplights and 2 medians, you're talking $500,000, which I think will solve the problem versus $16 million that your project calls for.
And that's fine. If that project gets put in spot, the store's high enough to get funded, we can do it. But one of the caveats of the law, the General Assembly said, you put the project in to be scored, you can tweak it a little bit, but you can't radically change it. If you radically change it, you have to start over. It's a new project. And so, I mean, that would be a viable project.
Thank you, Jeff.
Okay. We're going into public hearing. Buzz Caton, what I'll do is go through the people that sign up and try to hold your comments to somewhere around 3 or 4 minutes or so. It looks like we got a long list here, and I know some people walked in after, they'll have comments when I get through here. We'll be here till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Good evening, Mr. Caton.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. I know that each of us have individual concerns about any kind of project like this. I mean, obviously, you've got a safety need that should be taken care of. We know that there's also this argument that this is going to be great for the community. It's going to bring all kinds of people in to work, spend money, and sleep in hotels and motels. We can make it sound really pretty nice. The problem is that we have already a drainage problem in Washington. And right now, it has been caused by 2 things, in my understanding. One is that we have not been able to keep up with the kinds of sewers that we need for the infrastructure that we put in. The thing called pervious and impervious gets in the way. Now what you're trying to do is add additional impervious, and nothing is being done to take care of drainage. I have property at 13th and Ruskin Street. My family has owned that property since 1965. When we moved into that, in the worst storms we had a ditch on the side that overflowed a little bit. Today, we can have a big rain, and we have water under the house, so we have to replace the ductwork every time. Now, if we add additional problems to that, which this would do, then now that water is going to come in the house, because it is progressively crept up as we continue to build infrastructure. The things you put in out there with your high rises and so forth, because we still have not taken care of the major problem this town has, and that's drainage. Now, in our opinion, and we'd like to offer this as a suggestion, there needs to be an engineering study done for this project detailing the potential impact on the drainage basin, which is the project where it's going to be located. DOT should have strict liability for any adverse impact this project will have on current and future flooding in this basin. In addition, the study should address the question of what design features might be incorporated into the project that would mitigate the current flooding problem in this area. The question we have as a group from this area that we live in, that neighborhood, has the DOT had an impact or engineering study performed detailing the impact that the increased stormwater surge will have on the existing flooded properties that the neglected city tax-paying residents and property owners are already burdened with? Is the DOT aware of the neglected flooding situation that the residents on and off 15 have suffered for the past 15 years? We believe the city and the county should provide leadership to get the laws related to DOT and other state agencies changed to provide that the state has strict liability for any adverse consequences of its actions or inaction in the construction maintenance projects it may do. Adverse consequences, as used here, include what happens to nearby private property as a result of state activity. If the state changes the drainage, it should be strictly liable for the damage those changes cause. We think the same should apply to the city also. There should be some protection for private property that is damaged by states and municipalities. Right now, there is little recourse that we as individual and private property owners have against any damages that the city causes or that the DOT causes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.